Ladies and gentlemen, this is John Rare back tonight for a special guest, one of my favorite people in the world, Chuey fucking Martinez. How are you doing, my old friend?
I'm living like a villain, smoking weed like Bob Dylan, my friend. What are you up to?
You know, the same. And talking about your weed, I actually, I can't smoke weed because my job does drug tests, but I went out and got a pack of...
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I'm being for real. I went out and got a box of wild hemp cigarettes just for the occasion.
They're nasty as fuck, ain't they?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they could be better. I'll give you that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I curse on this damn thing?
Yeah, this is uncensored.
Oh, even fucking better.
Yeah. Like, if you were to call out a certain somebody that's been dodging you for years, you can obviously do that.
I'll do that here in a little. Let's talk about other stuff first.
So let's go ahead and start. We're going to focus around Carnage Cup. Your first Carnage Cup was 2006, correct?
Yes, sir.
So how'd you get the booking? How'd you get introduced to Sir Kevin Brandon?
By Dylan Keith Summers, which is also known as the Necro Butcher.
Oh yeah. Now, obviously, he was on that show that night.
Yeah, he was. I think he actually won it that
year. Yeah, probably so.
Yeah, so he was living in Texas at the time, and that's when I barely started doing death matches. So that was literally like my first 3-4 months that I was getting, fighting weekly with Dylan. And then that booking was there, and then he said, "Come on, boy." And I said, "Okay, sir."
So
and there I was. Then I met Kevin Brennan. What a guy.
So that show right there was in the dreaded place called Coleman, Alabama.
Right. It was in some kind. It looked like a big old garage kind of setting, but it looked like someone kind of modified it to make it like somewhat of a kind of restaurant kind of thing.
Yeah. So now this is also the time where you pulled up at the gas station that had all the damn rebel flags, correct?
This is the time that we were on the way to Alabama. Yes, we were on the way to Alabama, and then for some odd reason, my kind was not welcome there, and I had a shotgun put out on me, and I pissed my pants.
Well, you know that you are always welcome at my house.
I love Alabama, but not that store.
Coleman is very well known for that, so...
Oh, is it really? I had no clue. I think you told me that after the fact.
Yeah, Coleman is one of those bad counties that you better be white or you're not right.
Well, obviously I was not right.
So that night you were in a tag team match, correct?
I was in a tag team match. It was me and a guy named Don Juan the Bomb versus Hero, and I think Dave was there.
Dave the Rave, right?
Dave the Rave, yes sir.
Yep. So how'd that match go? How'd you enjoy that? That was your actual IWA Deep South debut, right?
That was my IWA Deep South debut in 2006, and that was probably one of the first times that I left. That was the second time I left Texas, so that was like my second road trip out of Texas. So I was definitely antsy about it.
And you were young back then. How old were you in 2006?
I was 23.
Damn.
I was 23 because I lost my dad in 01, so I was 21. I was in 04, so I was 21 then, and then then I took maybe like an 8 month to a year hiatus, and then from there, then I was back.
So being in Coleman at IWA Deep South, how was you treated backstage?
Well, there was a lot of shit going on, and by then it was cold as hell. It was there was the infamous little propane heater there.
Yes.
And let me tell you something, brother. That probably had more action than I did in the 8 to 10 minutes that I was out in the ring.
Because this was in what, November, correct?
Yeah, so that was in November. So yeah, so that was my second time out of Texas. So that was in November, and then the thing about it is like that was the same time that I saw, for instance, I saw some really stone cold motherfuckers out there, and like getting introduced to deathmatch wrestling. That's the first time I was introduced to Bull motherfucking Pain, and let me tell you, that dude is one fucking straight G.
Yeah. See, I've never actually, I don't think I've ever met Bull Pain.
No. Well, let me tell you something. If you're in the ring with him, or if you're in any kind of interaction when he's entertaining, you better sell the fuck out of something, because if you don't sell anything, he's gonna beat your ass.
Yeah.
Because that was the time that a referee was trying to be in a spot, and he hit the referee, and the referee no-sold him because he obviously wasn't trying to kill the kid, but he definitely killed him afterwards in the locker room.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, you know, I just finished doing my match, then, you know, Bull Pain's up, and then next you know what, I'm taking off my boots, and then I look up, and then I see a little kid getting thrown into, almost getting burned by the infamous propane heater. And that's a shoot, brother.
Do you remember that ref's name, or I'll have to look it up?
Oh, I don't remember. I know it was a skinny little drink, but I'm pretty sure he probably didn't ref after that.
I mean, I can tell you this. This is a little bit of my history. I think you're aware of this. Like, I can sell like a motherfucker in the ring. It was being stiff with individuals. That was my problem, because, you know, I was trained to always be light. So it was the being stiff part, you know, to people, that was always my issue.
Right. I was the same way, but like when I was trained, it was more like, hey, you gotta touch somebody, you gotta at least give them contact. If you don't give them contact, and don't fucking sell for a motherfucker, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You see, like, you know, I had to wake up with being stiff whenever I got in there with Spider, you know. So, you know, that was my awakening for being stiff.
Well, you're pretty stiff for being a little skinny dude.
Yeah, I've heard. I've got stiffer over the years.
Okay, fair enough.
But my wife says opposite. Okay, so how did the tag match go? How did you enjoy that one for your debut?
Well, it was cool, and then I was mad at the same time because I didn't want to be there for a tag match. I was ready to fucking, you know, show some blood, give some blood, because, you know, I already had, like, within 6 months prior, I did my IWA Mid-South debut, like, prior to that, you know, all that good shit, so I was ready to fucking show people who the fuck I was, you know?
Yeah.
So I kind of was a little bit out of shape, but I was just glad enough to be able to get on the show at the same time with so many dudes that, you know, like Tank was there, you know, Insane Lane. Well, that's when I first met Insane Lane. That's when I first met Tank. You know, Freak Show, which is, you know, a really good buddy of mine, you know what I mean? So that's when I first met all those dudes, and then, like, my mind was blown, because I was just like, oh, okay, like, from going from Mid-South to Deep South, it was totally a different change of scenery, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, my mind was blown. I was like, holy shit. So in my head, I'm like, am I really doing this? Fuck it, man. Like, I'm already in it. Let's wing it and see how this shit goes.
Yeah, like, when you look back on the people that was in it that year, it was, you know, a lot, like you said, it was a lot of good people. You know, you had Necro Butcher, Mitch Page, Dysfunction, Freak Show.
Yeah, I met Mitch Page that year, too. Yeah, he was a really cool dude, man.
Mickey Knuckles was there. That's the year that she did that barefoot thumbtack with Rotten.
Ian. Was it Rock or was it Ian?
Ian.
It was with Ian, yeah. That's when I first, because I just came from seeing those dudes, because I met them first, you know.
And then, hell, you know, you also had Die Hard Dustin Lee, Drake Younger, and, you know, as you mentioned, Bull Pain, Corp. You know, it was a stacked-ass card that year.
Oh, right. And see, that's why I was mad, because those guys were in it, and I was like, well, fuck, why can't I be in it? So I was like, you know, I was kind of a little I was kind of a little bittersweet at the moment, but I get it. It wasn't my time, but I definitely had more. I felt that I had more pizzazz than diehard Justin Lee and fucking and Homeboy Drake Younger and all those dudes.
Yeah, like I was actually, I always fuck with Kevin so much because I was supposed to have debuted at Carnage Cup 5, and it didn't happen because he said he didn't have room for me on that show. So yeah, I'm like that. I was supposed to have been there, and then I didn't get the chance to. So that kind of irked me the wrong way there.
Yeah, I was kind of hurt because it was like, oh, you're going to be in it, and when I get there, no, you're not going to be in it. You're going to be in a tag match, which, I get it. I understand, but at that time, that year was the time that I was like, you know what, I get it that I'm new to this thing, but I got to do shit to let people know why I am who I am, like why I'm original,
Yeah, definitely understood. Like, what was it? It was Carnage Cup 5. That's the one that I was supposed to have debuted at. And, that's the year that they had like that all-star cast there. Nick Gage was there, Thumbtack Jack, Danny Havoc, Sexy Eddie, a huge-ass list of people. And, I didn't get to wrestle, but I ended up getting to hang in the back with them, which that was the only time I've ever actually hung out with Gage. I've had the chance to hang out with Danny a few times, but obviously that was my first time meeting Thumbtack Jack. So, I got to at least meet a few people there that night. So, walking away from your first Carnage Cup, it was years before you did another Carnage Cup. Did you do any other IWA Deep South shows before then?
No, other than that one, then it was until I got more credibility, until he brought me into the one that with the green building.
Yeah, which that was Carnage Cup 10.
Right, 10.
And yeah, by 10 I done established myself as that kid or that guy in Deep South, but I just never won the Carnage Cup, And I remember when Kevin first showed me a video of you, because he let me kind of handpick who I wanted to wrestle that night. So obviously I picked Colt 45 as my first round because he did the barefoot stuff, and I wanted to do a barefoot match. So obviously I picked him first round, and then it came down to you or John Wayne Murdoch for my second round. And at the time, I've been in there with Murdoch like one time, but it was like a 7-way ladder match. But the issue was, Murdoch didn't want to lose. He was slated to win King of the Death that year, so he didn't want to lose. So I was kind of like, well, hell, I'm winning the damn thing. I don't want to get in there with Murdoch if he don't want to lose,
Right, because then it wouldn't have been great chemistry, you know what I mean?
Yeah, something would have been off with it. So he showed me a few videos of you, and I don't remember what match it was, but you were in the parking lot. It was like a parking lot brawl with you and somebody, and you were beating the shit out of them. And I was just like, holy...
Me and who?
I don't know who it was. You was beating the shit out of somebody in a parking lot. So, and you were beating the shit out of him. So I was watching that, and I was just like, holy shit. He didn't show me your Deep South stuff. He showed me something where you were beating the shit out of somebody in a parking lot. And I was like,
man, I've done so many parking lot brawls, so I couldn't even tell you.
So I was like, okay, so I've got this big ass guy, and I could tell by your picture you were fucking huge. And that was me and your first time ever meeting each other was Carnage Cup 10.
Right, that was the first time we met each other, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. And then you met me with Moonshine, and I fell in love with you.
Yes, I do have... I've been told that my Moonshine is top-notch quality. So what did you do in between, your first visit at Carnage Cup until you got that call for Carnage Cup 10?
So like I told you, I was on a mission, so I was really just bittersweet. Then after that, I did that year, the next year I did Cage of Death. I did a lot of IWA Mid-South in 07. I did Anarchy Championship Wrestling at the time, so I kind of helped build the Anarchy gimmick here in Texas. So it was just because, you know, I'm just a born out storyteller, man. So it's all about telling stories with me.
Yeah.
If you think that you're just gonna go in there and try to beat my ass, you got another thing coming, because I will deadly shoot on you and let you understand that, you know, I'm not to be taken lightly.
And see, I'll give you that. That's one thing I learned from you that night. You know, when we wrestled is, you know, there had to be a story involved with, you know, our match. And, you know, you're honestly one of the first people, except for maybe Spider, that really, you know, told me that, you know, for this to happen, we got to develop this story. So, you know, yeah, you're one of them that really taught me about the storytelling when it comes to a match. Yeah, a match.
Well, I mean, everyone can go out there and beat the fuck out of each other. Everyone already knows what's going to happen. It's about going in there and letting people, giving the people the money's worth and giving them something that no one's ever seen before. You know what I mean? At the same time, build something at the same time to let people know how strong you are and how strong I am at the same time, because we're gladiators. So it's two gladiators going to war. But the thing about it is, like, how can that one gladiator get up on the other gladiator?
Yeah.
That's kind of my mind frame, just like old school fucking Carnage shit, you know?
Especially when this gladiator is about half your size.
Well, you know. So, like, before then I was doing a lot of Mexico shit, and then I went to Mexico. I was off and on in Mexico for like 7-8 years at the time. So, like, it was one of those things, like, I'm just tired of getting told no.
Yeah.
One of the things is because I'm very underrated for some odd fucking reason. I personally think it's bullshit, because I believe that I'm like one of the top deathmatch dudes in America. So it's one of those things. It's like people also think that I'm going to be like that I'm really hard to deal with. You would know me. I mean, you'd even let me stay in your house before. Am I that hard to deal with? No,
hell, you were super smooth to me. Like me and your match. Besides, you know, it went completely smooth. The only thing I regretted, you know, at the beginning of our match, you know, I didn't punch you hard enough at the beginning. You know, that's the only thing. That was on me.
So what happened when you didn't punch me hard? What did I do?
You laughed, but you didn't stiff me. You didn't do shit negative to me. And hell, you even said it. You got to hit me harder than, what'd you call me? You got to hit me harder than that, princess.
Right. Hit me harder, princess. Hit me harder. You got to hit me harder.
Hey.
You know, the thing is like I said, so like at that point, that was a story of John and like the Goliath kind of gimmick. So that's a story of me being a big ass dude, you being a smaller stature guy. So it's like, how are you gonna get this big monster down? So you're definitely gonna have to start punching me, because there's no point for me to sell if you're not gonna touch me. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And that was day 2. You know, day 1, you had a killer fucking 3-way match with Ruben Still and Mosh Pit Mike. And, you know, in any other show, any other organization, y'all's match could have been fucking main event night, match of the fucking night. You know, that match was fucking killer.
I appreciate that. And those guys come from me, because no offense, like those guys, when they started getting into the deathmatch round, and like Ruben Still came from me, because obviously a lot of guys trying to beat him up when he started trying to get in. But it's one of those things that I'm the one that actually helped mold the guy and get him to so many places, just like Mosh Pit Mike. Mosh Pit Mike was a guy that had been traveling with me forever just to get his name out with me, because I already had that kind of name. And I'm one of those guys that will help anybody. I'll give the shirt off my back. Just don't fuck me over, you know?
Yeah. Like, now, who, in y'all's match, who came up with the scissor spot that happened?
With the what?
The scissor spot through the tongue.
So we've been doing that scissor spot for years, and then we would do it for years, because obviously it's just one of those things that me and Mosh have been doing. It was just one of those things that haven't been seen on that side of the country. So we're like, fuck it, let's do it, you know?
Yeah, and yeah, it was you know, it was a shocker. Like I said, you know, on any other fucking show, that right there would have probably been like the moment of the fucking show, you know. But you know, this was Carnage Cup, and you know Carnage Cup. Some shit fucking shit happens at Carnage Cup.
Well, yeah, shit happens anywhere, but especially at Carnage Cup.
So, yeah, y'all killed it in that fucking match. And, you advanced to the second round. Obviously, I defeated Colt, advanced. So we were in Nathan's Sadistic Playground version 3.
Right.
And,
Which he's a sadistic fuck, by the way.
yes, he is. Like, I did an interview with him on my channel as well. And, we talked about some of his gimmicks and some of his fucking ideas. And, yeah, Nathan, he's wild. I'll give him that. Now, it comes down to me and you, second round at Carnage Cup. Now, I know a lot of people that year, I've heard this a million times from different people. That was the year, like, everybody wanted to win this Carnage Cup. I know you wanted to win it.
Well, of course. Why would I want to lose?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously. Everybody wants to fucking win it. This was the one year, Kevin was like, God damn, man. He wants to win it. He wants to win it. Everybody wanted to win that one. And, I was already slated to win it because, year prior, or even probably more than a year than that, originally I was slated or placed to win Carnage Cup 9. But, we waited on it. And, Tremont won 9. So, I kind of waited my turn there. And, I didn't have a problem, waiting. So, he placed me to win Carnage Cup 10. And, what was your thoughts on, having to go under me for that match?
Man, like, when Kevin talked about you and the way he was bringing it into me and letting me know, like, I just came back from Mexico. So, like, I think I just did, like, maybe, like, a 4-month tour in Mexico City. So, like, my whole thing is I know what I'm doing, and I know what I was been doing, and my whole thing was, like, I told Kevin, since then, he was like, oh, well, I want you to do this, and I was like, well, look, I'm just glad for you to actually bring me back, especially with everything that I'm doing now, that you're actually needing to give me credibility for the shit I've been doing. So I'm like, hey, man, I'm there to work, I'm there to let people know, and I'm there to build a foundation. So if I have to do what I gotta do, man, I'm definitely gonna do it because I want you to know that I'm a team player.
Yeah. And you know me, I work with Kevin pretty regular, and I'm usually, a phone call away whenever he needs, a question or whatever. So I stay pretty in the loop with everything that he's doing. And, I know a lot of people that year, a lot of people did have a problem, with losing. They wanted that fucking victory that year. So I definitely appreciate you putting me over, and, definitely made me look like $1 million at that show.
Well, I wanted people to understand that you weren't just an ordinary fuck. That there was a reason why you were winning, There was a reason why Kevin had the faith to put you over, and why he had that momentum, how you had that momentum. So that was the point of me understanding the fact. And it's not about being selfish in this business, man. Unfortunately, a lot of people want to be selfish. It's about actually just standing your ground, making something for yourself regardless if you win or lose,
Yeah.
But that's what people don't, that's what these young kids don't get these days. And that's what I've always been trying to preach. But, like, who's going to, like, people would think, like, but I've done a lot more than a lot of these guys that have been getting so many damn trophies and shit, but I don't even get a turn or get a wink of an eye or, like, hey, this guy, because I'm real. I'm as real as they come, and unfortunately, a lot of these guys aren't. They want to play the stupid politics. And I'm not about politics. I'm about getting in there and sacrificing my body, my story, my life, and everything every time I step in the ring.
Yeah, I think we've said this somewhere before. It's like I don't get why some of the bigger feds haven't called you up to be in tournaments. Like it's like you said, it's a politic thing, and it drives me fucking nuts.
But you and I both know it shouldn't be about politics. It should about seeing someone that's actually getting over. If you're seeing that this guy's getting so much momentum, and seeing that the crowd and the true deathmatch fans are behind him, why would you just keep pushing him away? Because all that's going to do is just make me more angry and do more shit to show y'all motherfuckers what I'm really about. Like, lately I've been killing myself because I want people to understand, like, hey, like, what more do I have to do to let y'all guys know that I'm the real fucking deal?
Yeah. Like I said, you made me look like $1 million. a lot of people. And
well, not many people can take a 666 syringe board to the back after I hitting you with the chair 15 fucking times, bro. And legitimately, I wasn't light on that chair shot. So you know damn well I wasn't. I was fucking putting it in there.
And you know, me and you, we talked about this, and it hasn't really got put out there too often about Smart Mark taking out some of the shit in our match.
They let me hit. They showed one hit on that damn thing, and then they took out like that's fucking bullshit. It's like after I've been on Smart Mark since 2006, and then you're gonna go in and take shit out because you don't want to lose credibility or not give me that kind of rub. I deserve everything that I do. Everything that I put myself and the passion that I put in all my stories, they should be on there. You shouldn't be taking shit out of it. That's kind of fucking bullshit, you know?
And you know, yeah, I mean, I know I was told it. I'm pretty sure you heard it too. A lot of people said that match, you know, was probably the match of the damn weekend. If the Saul match that was the main event wasn't as fucking overboard and, you know, crazy as it was, I legitimately think our match would have probably been the match of the weekend. And that's saying something because there was a shitload of fucking good matches on those 2 days.
Right. I think so as well. There was a lot of people coming from all over. But like that's what's wrong with deathmatch wrestling still now in the new era, because all those little kids like fucking a Bulldog, like Tremont and all that. Look, I get it, I understand, but I'm a 6'5", 275-pound dude, and I've been sacrificing myself for so fucking long, but I still can't get a rub like those dudes. But like, how much more do I have to really legitimately kill myself? And then, by the way, I wrestled like who in deathmatch wrestling has wrestled with a broken fucking leg, bro?
Yeah.
Who? Tell me, please.
Nobody.
Who has wrestled a deathmatch tournament with a broken leg? Please tell me.
Chuey Martinez.
But who else?
That's
who
it.
else other than me?
That's it as far as I know. And that was at what, Mid-South, right?
That was Mid-South. That was the King of the Death 2010, which I broke my leg on a shoe job like 2 days prior, but that's how committed I am. I broke my fucking leg, but I had to go over there and do the biggie. I couldn't tell you how much my mother was like you're pendejo, like, no, what are you doing? Don't you do this? But I had to because my word is my bond.
Yeah.
So I went and I did it, and you know, I kind of regret it because now like my legs will never be the same again. But at the point, it's about sacrificing yourself. It's about sacrificing your life for what you love, and that's what people need to understand. That's what people need to understand when they're booking shit. Like, hey, like, do I want this little political fuck where he can promise me 10, 15 video games? If I put him over, he'll give me 15 video games. Or do you want to find a legit dude that actually has been doing this and sacrificing my family, my kids, everything for this business? And I'm over here still trying to fucking kill myself because obviously guys in the East still can't fucking give me the credibility I deserve.
Yeah, like I'm talking about the boys in the East. You know, me and Spider. Which this happened after Carnage Cup 11. But we got that one call to GCW one time. And, you know, me and him were both hurt after Carnage Cup 11. Like, you know, hell, Spider hasn't wrestled since. But you know, that's whenever I broke my damn ribs in that match. So I was, you know, I couldn't do it. And, you know, he said it was a one-time deal. So I was like, you know, we can't do it. So, you know, I've never got that call back either. But, you know, now I ain't traveling any fucking where any damn way. Hell, I was retired and I had to come back out of retirement.
Well, I don't see why I shouldn't be on DCW, especially I've been calling out to one of the fucking DCW superstars, or the king. I've been calling out the king of the fucking East for over 2 fucking years, and that fucking pussy is still fucking silent. He still can't answer a fucking challenge. See, that's how it is. Like, you want to say you're this and you're that, but when you actually live in the fucking hood, and you actually have to survive yourself by every day, there's drive-bys all over my fucking house all the time. And I'm still alive. So why wouldn't you think that good business is putting 2 real G's in the fucking ring together and actually making magic happen? Why, they that scared me?
And you know, That would be a killer match. The people up north is probably going to look at it as, hey, the king going against this. They're going to probably be like, hey, this Mexican guy. But the people that know you, they're going to be like, fuck yeah, Chuey Martinez is going to go up there and go against Nick Gage. It's a different mindset between north and south there.
Well, it's something that people have never seen, and something that true deathmatch fans would love to fucking see.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not no pussy shit. If you want to do real and you want to say all this real shit, blah, 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 well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and put them actually against people that actually have credibility and that have sacrificed themselves. I've been doing Mexico, and they go to Mexico, said, man, I conquered Mexico and Veracruz and all that place, like 5 years, 7 years prior, before all those dudes started going to Mexico.
Yeah, and...
But no one gives me the credibility of me going over there, sacrificing myself, being main events, all over, fighting the best of Mexico has to offer, beating Joe Leader, beating Pagano, beating Damien 666. I mean, Bessie, like, I can go on and keep saying how many fucking of those mejores, of those legends, deathmatch legends, and I'll tell you what, those dudes are 10 times tougher than American wrestlers, except you're a pretty tough son of a bitch, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. I can just take a beating and keep going. That's all it is.
But that's what it's about. It's about taking a beating and never quitting and never dying. It's about going over there, or if you somewhat die, it's about letting them know that you got the fucking balls.
Yeah. And, I think that's one of the things is nobody, it don't bother me. It really hasn't. It's never bothered me that, people don't give me credit. I'm just like, hey, what the fuck ever. Because, my former job, I couldn't travel. So it never pissed me off when people booked or wouldn't book me on the weekend because I couldn't fucking go anyway because I was fucking working. But now, I don't work the weekends no more. But now I don't want to fucking travel because I got my kids. I'm done with it.
I totally understand, and I wish I could have my kids like you are. But you're a great man for having kids and being that guy. You know what I mean? And that's amazing. And I would love to have my kids every day, but like. Me sacrificing myself for this business is the reason why I don't have my kids. And unfortunately, it's bittersweet, but I want people to understand, like, if you give your life to this business, why can't this business give it back to you the way you deserve it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, me, like, how you consider that right there is, like, I considered that whenever I finally did win Carnage Cup 10, because, nobody gave me a fucking chance in hell to do that. Like, that's whenever I considered the business, gave back to me was that night. That's why I said after that, I could have retired that night and I would have been done because nobody ever fucking gave me a chance to, win Carnage Cup. Nobody ever gave me a chance to win, the IWA title like I did. So, I was happy where I was at. But, like, and I agree with you, you're underutilized when it comes to these booking stations. Like, you got a good showing at another what was that, $10? Was it $10 wrestling or was it?
It was Deathmatch Mafia tournament.
Deathmatch Mafia tournament. Now that one had Tracy Smothers, Spider, Tank. It had a shitload of good guys on it, and you had some pretty good showings in that. Who'd you have first round at that?
So the first round I had was, man, I don't even remember.
See, that was one of those shows I was booked on, but I ended up having to work, so I was unable to make it to that show.
It was a tag match, was it? The first round was a tag match, then it turned into fighting each other, right? So it was me and Tank versus some green dude and some other dude.
Because was it that match, or was it your second round match where you had the piece of glass actually like go?
My second match is when we fought each other.
Yeah, and that's where you got the glass in your ass.
That's when I got the glass in my ass when we did a light 2 match, and I got a glass in my ass, and then we sat down, did Necro style, and then we went bowl for bowl, pound for pound. That dude was a fucking massive dude, and I have so much respect for that man. It was an honor for me to get in that man, especially when I met him in 06. So it was like, holy shit, like, would I ever even get into this caliber? So, like, that was much appreciated when finally, when people are starting to figure out who the fuck I am and them wanting to be like, no, I want to wrestle him.
Yeah.
You know, because he called me out, and he's the one that was like, okay, look, I want to work him. If I have to do any of this, I want to be on his team.
Yeah, Tank's a true legend. So for him, to point you out, yeah, that's a good honor.
And then I won that year.
Yes, like it came down talking about killing yourself. You and Spider came off of that fucking container outside.
Russian leg sweep off the container, and I landed on my fucking neck. I didn't take any of the table blunder, the blunder table. I didn't take. Spider took all of that, and I just landed like legitly. You can see it. Like I land nothing but on my neck.
Yeah, and both of y'all laid there. I know Spider. That was the beginning of when Spider really took an injury right there. Is when he fell off that fucking thing. And, you picked up the win there, so you were the first Deathmatch Mafia winner.
Well, which was amazing.
And, that gave you some steam right there. Now, that gave you steam going into Carnage Cup 11, which was at the famous Taco Shack in Iron City, Tennessee.
Yeah, that was a good time, buddy.
Now, before that happened, you got a call from Kevin Brandon about being in the movie called Rare, which is hopefully going to be fucking out soon. I've actually talked to the director here lately, so hopefully it's this year. I know it's been fucking forever.
It was a great cast, by the way.
John Rare, Aaron, what's Aaron?
Aaron, I forget what her name was. Aaron.
I only know her shoot name.
It was Misty Monday. Is
Yeah,
what her name was.
Yeah, her shoot name was Misty Monday.
No, her worker name is Misty Monday, and her shoe name is Aaron.
I don't know if she wants Cheryl.
Aaron Zerga or something. Oh, Durkin. That was her name. Durkin.
So yeah, we all had fun making that fucking movie. I'm not gonna say shit about it because it's been kept pretty damn secret on what the storyline is, but we had fucking killer fun on it.
It's also relative to what fucking what kind of wrestling is about. I mean, unfortunately, it's a sad truth. There's a lot of factors in there.
Yeah, but you're right. There's a lot like what happened honestly between me, you, Aaron. That probably happens to a lot of damn wrestlers, behind the scenes. So, when people watch the movie, they're not only going to be watching a movie about, these guys that are, professional wrestlers, and, it shows their real life. That's the thing. It shows their real life building up to a huge show.
Right.
And it's going to be a hell of a watch. Like, I'm guaranteeing, the fans are going to fucking love that movie.
I saw the first cut when it was first out, and I thought, to be honest, I really thought it was really good, like the way it was produced, the way everything was. So I can't wait until to see the second, the third, the final product. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he sent me, Lewis sent me about a 5-minute clip of like it showing like people showing up to the show, and just like the setup, people getting ready, wrestlers talking, and just random shit like that. And that was a real cool scene. It had like it had me, Spider, Freak Show.
It has Freak Show on it a lot. It has me on it a lot. It has you on it a lot. I mean, and then even they even followed me in. They even went to California and followed me over there in California when I did that Blood Brothers, the first one of their tournaments.
Yeah, I saw that scene. Like when it gets put together, it's gonna be fucking awesome. But
I think so because it's a very good aspect of deathmatch wrestling.
So and then they also shot at the Carnage Cup. So it'll all be put together. But Carnage Cup, your first round match was a fucking wild match. It was the infamous deathmatch gauntlet match that came down to you and Freak Show.
Yeah, that was good. Me and fighting Freak Show one-on-one was actually overdue, man, and I was glad that we were able to, give those fans something and a taste of something that people don't really see all the time, and that's actually big ass dudes that have been in this business for over, that have been in deathmatch wrestling for over 15, 20 years, you know?
Yeah, Freak Show's the one that gave me that good rub with Kevin that kind of got me in the door. Because, I wrestled Freak Show in front of about 5 fans at a UWA show here in Alabama. And, Kevin was in attendance because at the time, Freak Show was the IWA champion. So, Kevin showed up. But after that match, Freak Show gave a good word for me to Kevin. And, a few months, or I'd say maybe about 6 months later, that's whenever I finally debuted at Carnage Cup 7. So, definitely owe Freak Show for that. And Freak Show's a fucking killer dude. Love Freak Show.
Oh, I love him as well, man. He's one of my great friends.
Of course,
you are.
He kind of gave me that rub to get into IWA. And, funny story about Carnage Cup 11 was, at the time, Freak Show and Kevin Brandon was kind of having a little beef together. So originally, Freak Show wasn't even going to be in at Carnage Cup 11. And old Rare here made magic happen.
All right, and you usually do that. But let's talk a little bit about Kevin Brandon, man. I mean, people can say whatever they want, or they can say whatever the fuck you want about that man, but that man has definitely has always took care of me and always put me in a spot. And me being Mexican descent, people can say he could be this, be racist or whatnot. If he was racist, as they say he was, he would not want to have me, like, I would never be around.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been in his movie.
I wouldn't have been in his movie. He wouldn't have given me the time. I wouldn't have won his deathmatch. I wouldn't have won Deathmatch Mafia. It's so much like people. It's just a stereotype of what people think about people all the time. It's just ridiculous. And they need to come hardcore deathmatch wrestling fans need to come and understand what Kevin Brandon has done for deathmatch wrestling, because he's probably one of the promoters out of the 3 to 5 promoters that actually have sacrificed so much to put on one of the best products that deathmatch wrestling has to offer,
Yeah, like, dude, I've seen his money go into a show. I've seen his, effort and his work. And then, for the love of fucking God, like, nobody besides maybe me and him knows about the fucking Angel of Death tournament, how much bullshit we dealt with every week for
I'll
about...
tell you what, but you had a guy that was looking like Chuey over there, and that kind of pissed me off. He had a blonde mohawk and everything, and he kind of looked like me, but he couldn't beat me.
Who was it?
I don't know, but there was a kid with the beard and a blonde mohawk, and he was kind of trying to look like me, but he definitely couldn't beat me. I'll tell you that much right now.
See, I think, like, it became a money, it really did. It became a money issue with him because originally, Jimmy Lloyd was like the first person announced for that show. And Jimmy Lloyd, obviously Jimmy's probably cost a good bit. I don't ever ask Kevin about prices, that's not my business. But he really did take Jimmy Lloyd off of the show because of the price. He had to watch his money on that show. And, like, he definitely will. Me, I'm going to vouch for you. I'm going to try. I want to fucking get you on any damn show. But he had a strict budget for that show, and it got limited bad.
Oh, I get it, but, like, you couldn't have an Angel of Death tournament without Chuey Martinez. I'll tell you that much right now, especially how much me and you are in love with each other. No homo, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, and people don't know, like you said, you stayed with me. I opened my house, food, whatever the fuck you needed. I gave you a lake.
You gave me a lake. You gave me a boat to fucking be on. You gave me weed. To make a beer happy, moonshine. Come on, I can keep going on and on about it.
I'm honestly waiting for the day someone fucking calls me racist. Yeah, I'm just waiting for it.
You wouldn't let me sleep on your couch if you were racist, man.
Dude, like, I've always said, and this is being for real, like, and this guy's not in the wrestling business. He's just like a longtime friend, one of my closest dudes that I've ever known. He's black. I've always said, like, if I became a multi-millionaire and, I could take care of this guy for the rest of his life, the dude would be with me. You know, like,
Right.
I would take care of this dude. Because, you know, it's just me and him has had that tight friendship for so fucking long. You know, and, you know, that's why I'm saying I'm waiting for the day someone fucking calls me racist.
Right. Well, I know for a fact that you are not, my friend.
But, you and Freak Show fucking killed each other. You know, Freak Show, he was supposed to have, you know, killed Christian Cross, but that didn't happen. But, Kilo Green, was you in the back? Did you see any of that stuff, like, when Christian Cross came to the back? Did you witness any of that?
I saw a little bit of it, but like I was there, like a lot of people were still, like my merch table was on fire that weekend, so I saw a little bit of it, bits and pieces, but like I went over there and I just like, when they were telling me everything was happening, I got someone to watch my stuff for a minute so I could just make sure it wasn't getting out of control where any of my friends, you know what I mean, like Freak Show wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like people weren't trying to take advantage of them, because there was a lot of different posses there, you know what I mean? You had all the GCW guys or all those guys in that area or whatever they were at the time. I mean, you had all those dudes, you had the South guys, and you had the OGs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure nothing was getting out of hand, because I definitely have my boys back, you know?
Yeah, like, you know, I was already up. I was at the top of the hill when Cross came back there, because, you know, I was already up there talking to Show. And you know, I've always said this, just get off subject for a minute. Freak Show, to me, is like the Michael Jordan of IWA Deep South. You know, he was the measuring stick.
Well, I feel the same way.
You know, he was just a legend. And, you know, for me to be able just to sit in the back and chit-chat with them, not even as workers, just as, you know, bros and, you know, homies, that's a hell of a fucking honor. Like, I love Show to death.
I was the same way, especially him, like, knowing that I was going to be there, like, a day before. Like, cause remember, I was hanging out all fucking week.
Yeah.
But knowing that we were going to be there, he came straight ahead. He came, like, because he was supposed to come the day after. But he was like, well, shit, if Chewy's there, let's go hang out with Chuey. Just to even get that kind of feel, like, for people to just want to come hang out with me, knowing that I'm there, that says something, you know?
Yes, like, and, you know, like, if, in the movie, like, I don't want to give out too much, but in the movie, I mentioned something about that, you know, Freak Show being that, you know, the GOAT of Carnage Cup. And I even said it in my interview with Freak Show, is like, one record that, like, I aimed for was to try to do more Carnage Cups than Freak Show. And, you know, Freak Show's been in every one of them, you know, every show. So that's kind of a hard fucking record to do, but
It really is, man.
but if you don't have something to aim for, then, you know, you don't have a purpose. So, and like he said, I think right now, with the amount of Carnage Cups that we've done now, I think it's actually me and I think Show's done more, Spider's behind him, and then I'm behind Spider, if I'm correct, like who's done the most shows.
That's crazy. I just saw a music video with Spider Boudreaux, and I thought it was legit.
Was it? Which one was it?
I don't know, it was just some band, and I saw Spider Boudreaux being like a monster in it, so that was pretty sick.
Oh, shit. Well, I mean, it either could be Justify These Scars, or it could be Last One's Alive, because he was in a music video for both of them.
Okay.
What was he wrestling, or was he at a bar?
Oh, he was fighting at a bar or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's Justify These Scars. You know, that's the local band that has the tattoo parlor here in Moody, Alabama. You ready for a cheap plug? Frog's Ink House in Moody, Alabama.
Oh shit, Moody, Alabama. I love Moody, Alabama. That was awesome.
But you know, Frog, he's the one that does all my ink work. So,
oh yeah, but I met him, right? I'm pretty sure I met Frog.
I think you did.
Yeah, because we stopped over there and shit, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure I met him.
Yeah, if you didn't meet him there, he was at Carnage Cup 10 as well, front row. So I'm pretty sure you've met Frog.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
But yeah, if that's the same video, that's who it is. And hell, I ain't watched that in forever.
Yeah, because you got like a tattoo, like right before I guess like the day I was there, or like the day before I got there, or whatnot. Like I'm pretty sure I remember that.
that was actually part of the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I remember now.
Ow. Yeah. So you defeat Freak Show in the gauntlet, and you go to second round, and it was actually like 4 of y'all. What was that match?
It was me. It was holy fuck. What the hell's the dude's name? It was me, Del Patrick's. What's the other big corn-fed motherfucker? What's that dude's name?
Slack?
No, it wasn't Slack. Oh, that's a big corn-fed motherfucker too. But Brian Woods. It was Brian Woods, and then it was me, Brian Woods, and the kid that tries to look like Mick Foley.
Fuck.
I beat his fucking ass with the plastic reindeer.
Jimmy, was it fuck. Jimmy Lloyd? Or Jimmy Lyon?
Jimmy Lyon, that fucking guy.
Okay.
He wasn't selling at the beginning, but like during the middle, I'm like, dude, you better fucking start selling, otherwise I'm gonna beat your ass.
So you wasn't, like, you lost the match, but you wasn't even involved in the, the pinfall.
Me and Brian were over there trying to get one up on each other, and by the time we turned, Del Patrick's sneaky ass came from behind and fucking beat Jimmy, whatever his name is. That's what I'm saying. Like that's a prime example of young kids these days not respecting who the fuck has been before them. And just because we're older doesn't mean that we still don't deserve that respect. We deserve all that respect, just like the same way we would give the same respect due if those guys were a lot older and I was a lot younger in the deathmatch business. I would definitely respect those guys because that's the way you're supposed to be.
Yeah. And you're right. Like,
respect is key, brother. When people can say it's all about being respectful, regardless who the fuck you think you are, or that you've done something here in H2O or in wrestling. Like, I don't give a shit where you've been. It's about actually perceiving, like, coming and being respectful to a person, like right in their face. Then you can get a lot more from me. But if you're gonna come and walk in like you think that you're this and I should respect you because no, fuck you. That's not the way that works.
Yeah, you gotta earn it. Like,
you gotta earn that shit, especially from a dude like me. Because I've been bullied. I've been having to fucking, I've been everything. But you know what? I don't take any of that shit for granted. I go and I still sacrifice myself, regardless how many motherfuckers try to put me. No, I man up and I do what I gotta do.
So that was your third Carnage Cup, and so far in Carnage Cup you've only been able to make it to the second round. So
right.
So for the love of God, I've been trying to convince Kevin to do Carnage Cup 12, and a lot of people shit on him for how many times he had to cancel that. Like a year ago, but
right.
I was legitimately with him on, with helping on places, and every fucking place he ever booked either fucking canceled or just said that they, after they agreed to it, they didn't want to do it. And after like the third time, that kind of fucking it finally pissed Kevin off. So he was like, you know what, fuck it. We're just going to do regular shows and shit. If people would have fucking cancel the Carnage Cup over and over and over, fuck it, I'm not doing it. But that's when he found that place in Georgia to do Angel of Death. But the stipulation there was they were iffy on glass, so they didn't want to do glass the first show.
Right.
And the fans did kind of shit on that, but that was him easing his way into a building to basically, earn their damn trust, because someone literally called up there, maybe about 2 weeks before the show and tried to get us
shut down. Of course they did.
And tried to get us shut down.
Yeah. Of course they did. Like, it's like, and that's what I hate, man. It's like, if you're not putting money into it, if you're if you're not the one over here sacrificing, like your wife leaving you and shit because of so much money that you put into wrestling, you know what I mean? It's like stay the fuck out of it. Like, just because he doesn't fucking book you, I mean, fucking do some decent shit, and then you'll fucking get booked. Like I had to work my ass off for him to actually start seeing what I was doing. You know what I mean? Because I didn't want any favors. I wanted to earn Carnage Cup.
Yeah. And trust me, I know when Carnage Cup 12, when he finally fucking does it, you'll be there.
I will be there, and I will fucking win, and I don't give a fuck, and I want to earn it, and I'll shoot fight it just to win, because just to fight, because I want people to understand that I'm a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Regardless, in and out, I'm not a shoot. I'm not a work. I'm not where I have people saying little catchphrases before I come in. No, I'm not that guy. But when I go in there, I'm gonna tell a fucking story. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to give you 169% of what I got. So you better go in there and give me the same thing. Otherwise, I'm going to beat your ass.
And, out of Carnage Cup 10, I loved our fucking match. The bad thing about the main event is, by the time the main event came around, I was so fucking wasted.
Who you telling, brother?
People, I'm telling you, if those guys didn't, carry me in that main event, I was just out there, literally, I was out there.
That was kind of my fault, too, though. Because I kept, because you were a mad scientist at that moonshine, but I kept getting you to keep fucking drinking, because every time I turned around, I wanted you to drink it with me, because I didn't want to drink all your moonshine, I wanted you to help,
Man, you remember I actually had a box of it at that show. That's the year I brought a fucking box.
It was amazing. He had that, apple pie was delicious.
And then the cops showed up, remember? And somebody fucking hit the box or something and broke two of them. I want to say it was little Donnie, I thought.
Oh, little Donnie.
But, people were freaking out when the cops started showing up. So, we had all that fucking moonshine in the back. And there was fucking weed probably every damn where.
Right. Yeah, and then the same thing, that was crazy. And, they did, because we had to go and put all our weed up. Because we had a van, and we had to go put all our weed up in the van. So I'm like, oh, fuck, here we go again. Just make sure none of us go to jail.
And, the reason why the cops got called was because the fans were taking the liquor out of the building, and they wasn't supposed to. So it actually wasn't anything we did. It was just the fucking fans were breaking the alcohol rule.
Right. So Carnage Cup 12 needs to be in an undisclosed location. It needs to be in an acre of land. So it needs to be one of those kind of gimmicks where people understand what the fuck's, you know what I mean? It has to be something we need to take. Not take a book from other people's playbook, not take a page from other people's playbook, but we need to make it different so people understand and we can't get people fucking calling the law on us and everything else like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and see, I think that was another issue with that building is that there was a house right across the street from it, and obviously they did not like it.
That was a whole crazy setup. It was like, how the hell do you have this huge-ass warehouse in the middle of a neighborhood?
Yeah, literally.
It was crazy. I was like, wait, what the fuck is this?
But, I know I was fucking wasted. And what's bad is, right before the main, right before we went out, me and Spider, I want to say it was Wild Turkey 101, had about a half a fucking bottle still. He started chugging it. He told me to chug it, and we killed that fucking bottle
I think I took a sip of that too because I was like, "What the fuck y'all chugging on?" And then I was like, "Look, I hate whiskey, but I guess I'll take a sip with y'all, motherfuckers, since y'all are about to kill yourselves."
Yeah, and we did. We killed that fucking bottle before we went out. And, I remember on the way home. I know, the wife had to pull over. I got out of the fucking vehicle and I just puked.
Were you puking, my friend?
Yes, I was puking. But you know what? I had the cup. I had the trophy, so I was happy with that.
Did you puke in a trophy? Did you baptize it
Nope, I got out of the fucking vehicle.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Now, hey, talking about a fun time, let's talk about this before we end this. At Carnage Cup, fuck, at
Camp Carnage.
yes, Camp at Camp Carnage. At the end of night one, there was a party there at that taco shack, and now I didn't stay for the party.
Oh man.
But one of the funny videos is like, you're drunk as shit, so's Pat, so's Polk, and that was like the famous Polk, fuck Christian Cross, and y'all are just fucking going nuts. You remember that?
The fuck Christian Cross bonfire, I believe we were.
And then you got into the, didn't you get into the fucking pond, or the lake that was down there?
I got into the river, and that was probably one of the biggest mistakes ever, because that motherfucker almost took me. The current was so fucking big in there. I'm just glad, but and I was so fucking drunk. So by the time that was a horrible mistake. It was a horrible mistake, but I'm living to tell the story, but God, it almost took me. I'm so glad that there was a stick, like a big old stick that I grabbed onto, because it was taking me, bro. And when I grabbed it, I'm so glad that it was strong enough to hold me, because I was able to pull myself, and then people saw what the fuck was happening, and I'm like, motherfuckers, come help me before my beat her ass dies! I was yelling.
Yeah, like, I heard stories about that fucking night, and then obviously I seen that damn video. Like, I know people were out there chopping the fuck out of people. People were hitting people with light bulbs. And, we were...
The more everyone getting drunk, the more people wanted me to hit them.
Yeah.
With the light tube and break it. I'm like, well, you're going to bleed, so if you really want this, I'm not going to get so, I'm swinging to the fucking fences, I'm hitting them as hard as I possibly fucking can, man.
Oh, yeah. And, originally we was going to go back to Iron City, and the guy was all for it. But he's one of the guys that backed out of it at the last damn minute.
Really? Why would he do that? That was fucking... He swore up and down that he couldn't wait to have us back and everything fucking else, but I guess after all his remodeling, he wants to be straight.
Yeah, like
But you can't be straight when you're selling weed to everybody. Like, what the fuck? Like, I bought all my weed from that dude.
Yeah, no, like, it came down to, he said he didn't like the glass and the thumbtacks and basically all the sharp shit on the grass. He that's what killed it. That's what he said.
Well, I remember that they were asking him, like, hey, we have all this, and he saw everything, and they were like, because at that time, they were trying to put tarps around the ring, but he was like, no, like, he even said it himself, because I was there when that was happening. He was like, no, don't put the tarps on there, don't worry about it, you'll be alright. So he's the one that axed them from putting tarps there anyways.
Yeah.
But I knew that the setting was that we were going to put tarps around, then put the ring on there so we wouldn't get anything on the grass. I know that for a fact, because I heard that. That was a whole little deliberation. And he was like, no, it's all good. Don't worry about it. You don't need to put tarps there. It's cool. We're gangster.
Yeah. Well, you know how that shit works. People say they're going to do something and they don't fucking do it.
Oh yeah, and I hate that.
Well,
it's like if you say you're gonna do something, you gotta do it, man. It's about living by the word. Like there's a lot of times that I don't want to do a lot of things, but if I give someone my word, I gotta do it. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I learned that from Necro. And that's one of the greatest things I can tell you that I got from that man is your word is your bond.
Yeah. Necro's a true legend. Like, I've only met him, I think I only met him once, but dude's a legend. Nothing. And, talking about how much he's a legend, and one thing that pissed me off is, whenever he did that match with Slack, and, he didn't look the best, people shit on him so much for the way he looked.
Right, because he's obviously sick now, but I mean, regardless what he looked like, and so, Like, I've been wearing that Choose Death shirt. Like, I got inherited that Choose Death shirt in 2008. Is where I was able to wear that Choose Death name brand. So it's one of those things, like, he wasn't the only one that got, like, he passed the Choose Death torch. No, motherfucker, that was passed to me a long time ago.
Yeah. And
it's just ain't no one gonna give me the fucking credibility because I'm a brown guy.
Well, what pissed me off about that is, like, all those people were shitting on him. And then, like, 2 weeks later, they did, like, the show, like, dedicated to him. And I'm just like, and then, everybody was like, oh, he's the greatest. I was like, 2 weeks ago, y'all were shitting on the fucking man.
But 2 weeks ago, like, yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to go and wrestle the fucking East if there's going to be little fucking hypocrites and little bullshit like that. I want to be fucking wrestling over there because I want people to understand that I've sacrificed my life for deathmatch wrestling. So it's one of those things, like, take me because I earned it. Don't take me because you want to talk shit and then turn around and be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm done. And you know me, I'm all about doing promos. I've done a promo on Casanova Valentine. I've done one on Nick the King Gage. None of those motherfuckers still has returned or wanted to do something because I do shit here in Texas, man. And I'm trying to do that to give them a platform to come over here and make some money. But obviously, they don't want my money.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not good enough. I'm not that good enough to take my money. I'm not that good enough to come over here and show people who you really are. Or is it that because you think that I'm going to be that guy, like, hey, you got to put me over? No, I'm all about reality, man. So it's about being real. It's like, hey, no, let's doing this fucking fight and let's show people who we really are.
I'm trying to look up some shit. Was one of your first names like I am the prophet, or was that one of your little like catchphrases, or is that somebody else?
So I am the prophet was a thing that I fucking that I fucking started like 4.5 years ago when I moved to Denver. I came from I actually went to one of the Chris brothers, and he actually has like a wrestling cult. So I stayed at that wrestling cult for like a week, and then that's where I started getting this idea, like how I wanted to do this storyline where like how there's a leader, there's like the little henchmen and everything else, and then I came up with like the I Am series of like, because they kept saying, because the cult leader kept saying I am every time he was around, like I am this. So like, when I went to Colorado and I expressed like, hey, this is what's going, like my experience of going there, and I was like, hey, could I start a cult, like a wrestling cult? No, but let's make it an angle. Well, but then can I make it a story? Then that's where that came from.
Yeah, I don't know what I was looking up technically, and that came up, and your name was tied to it, and I was just like, I'm gonna have to remember this shit. See, I didn't know it was recent. I thought it may have been something that you went by like, years and years ago.
Yeah, I stopped the whole angle in like the last September or whatnot. It's last, but I did it for a good 34 years, man.
All right, well, Chewy, I've definitely loved having you on here, and it doesn't matter what color you are my brother.
Well, you are my brother as well, man. I'd do anything for you. I'd even give you the shirt off my back if you needed it, brother. You know that.
Kind of like Kevin gave you his Rebel flag shirt.
I have the Rebel flag, Confederate flag, and I would definitely wear it, and I wear it all the time, daily, and that's amazing as well, because he gave me his shirt, because I wanted that shirt, and I wasn't taking no for an answer, and he gave it to me off his back in the deathmatch mafia tournament, and like I said, man, I appreciate you, and I appreciate him more than anything. Y'all guys have been able to let me show my craft everywhere I go, and that means a lot to me, my man.
Yeah. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you again, hopefully soon. You know where I'm talking about.
Soon, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to see you next month, actually, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be next month.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
And,
South Alabama, here I come.
Undisclosed the location.
Well, I know it's undisclosed. It's technically not Alabama, but that's kind of where you live, so you know I'm going to want to come eat dinner.
Yeah, you'll be here. But
I'm bringing the wifey too with the big old belly, so that should be fun.
hell yeah, that means like dinner for 3.
Oh shit. We don't got no twins like you, but close enough.
They're so damn big now. Like
I know, man. I've been seeing it. I can't wait to see them. I can't wait to tell them that I used to carry them and play with them. And then there was one that was inseparable with me. What was the name?
Lilith is the one that's like clingy to me, and Amanda is the one that's clingy to my wife. But I think Amanda is the one that loves you to death.
Yeah, Amanda was loving me.
And you know what? She loves wrestling, period. I took her to the last show that we did, the Shoot Style Baby Tournament. She fucking loved it. Like, she just went nuts.
Yeah, I can't wait to tell her, oh yeah, you were all over your Uncle Chew when you were a baby.
And they love to beat on me, I'll tell you that.
And they talk now too, right?
Yeah, they're talking, and unfortunately they're picking up words.
Oh yeah. What do you mean unfortunately? That's shoot style, baby. Shoot style.
It's shoot style, because I walked outside literally putting them in the van, and I was like, what smells like dog shit? So Lily's like, dog shit? Dog shit? I'm like, oh God.
I can't wait to see him again, man. But much love, brother. You know, you got nothing but love from me, and I appreciate for you having me on, man.
Oh yeah, and of course, anytime, you know, hopefully we get you your big shoot interview soon. And
oh yeah, we're doing it, man. We're gonna do it. Hell yeah, I can't wait.
And as always, I love you, and thanks for the fans for listening. This was John Rare with my special.
Fans, y'all fucking rock. Peace, motherfucker.
Holla!